Then on Saturday, after the funeral, they end up spending more time together in a group than alone, before she had you-know-what with him several times on Saturday night. Back to They Did What, your source for the internet's craziest, most entertaining stories, where I go over them, analyze them, and most certainly make fun of them. Today, gonna go over a story titled, "My Fiancée Cheated After Her Cousin's Funeral While I Was Away, Together 6.5 years." And guys, this story is about a guy, like he said, he's been with his girl for 6.5 years. He goes away on business, and his girl goes to a funeral for her cousin. A cousin that she was once close with, but no longer close with. And long story short, he eventually finds out with her confessing that she was so stricken with grief that she cheated on him at the funeral. You can't make this shit up. I've heard cheating at weddings, after weddings, parties, whatever, but not at funerals. And now this guy, as you can imagine, is wondering, what the hell do I do, blah, 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 even though it's pretty obvious how he should handle the situation. So I'm going to go through this story, guys, and add my opinions on the way, because, again, you can't make this shit up. Starts off, he says, I had to go away for a little over a week for work last week. Her cousin passed away on Wednesday. The funeral was on Saturday. I never really met this cousin, and they had a falling out before she and I were together, but they used to be close like sisters and were neighbors growing up living on the same street. They saw each other when they could. They saw each other when they couldn't avoid it, but generally avoided each other. Okay, so they were once close, but they haven't been close for a very long time. So you wouldn't think they should be losing it at her funeral. On Sunday morning, I get a text saying, "I love you so much. I'm so sorry, but we need to talk when you get home." I started calling like crazy because that's the worst possible thing you can do, in my opinion, sending a message like that. Yeah, I agree. That's the worst thing. We need to talk, but no reason or details or anything like that. That makes people crazy, and she did that on purpose. Unfortunately, her phone stopped ringing, so she must have switched it off. I was worried and panicked most of Sunday, and yes, my mind jumped to cheating. Well, it's interesting, instead of thinking that something was other than cheating was going on, that's where his mind went to. So that would tell me what his subconscious is already thinking about her and her level of integrity and loyalty and all that. These are little things that say a lot to me. So I got home yesterday, and there she is, and she tries to hug me, but I pretty much just tell her to tell me what she needs to say. Because I was angry, she just messaged me and left me in the dark. Her cousin died, and she was devastated despite their falling out. At the wake, on Friday, she ended up meeting a family friend and drinking a bit. Then on Saturday, after the funeral, they ended up spending more time together in a group, and then alone before she had you-know-what with him several times on Saturday night. When she woke up on Sunday, it hit her just what she had done, and she freaked out. So, notice it wasn't just one time. He says multiple times. Okay? There is no way that she doesn't have a history of this, okay? And again, a funeral? I mean, this reminds me of the movie The Wedding Crashers, where in that movie, Vince Vaughn and Owen Wilson would go to weddings. They'd crash weddings on purpose to meet girls, because generally at weddings, you can get a lot of single pretty girls, and they're drinking, and they're all caught up in the emotions of the wedding, and it's an easy hookup environment. I'm sure many of you have experienced this, trust me. And in the movie, one of the guys who came up with all the rules and guidelines for their hooking up at wedding and wedding crashing, played by Will Ferrell, he came up with the idea of crashing funerals and to hook up with girls that are all emotional because, somebody died. And you even see them at a funeral with Will Ferrell and Owen Wilson. I mean, this is just like out of the movie. Anyhow, he says, according to her, she was devastated, not thinking clearly, and just needs something to take her mind off what happened. What, having a big sausage in her mouth all night? She was apparently in a really bad way and wasn't thinking about me or us just then. She'd been nothing but apologetic to the point of near groveling since yesterday. Groveling? That's the least of it. She should be on her knees with your big one in her mouth 10 times a day. So much to the point that pretty much she has to go on Amazon Prime and order some knee pads, because that's how worn down her knees are going to be from all the making up she should be doing to you. What a little bullshit. I'm upset about that, because so then I got to cheat on you at a funeral? Hit the road, honey. End of story, it's over. But I don't know. I'm devastated. I feel sad because I knew she was always kind of torn up about her falling out with the cousin, but this doesn't excuse her hopping into bed to grief away her emotional pain. I mean, Jesus, we've been together for 6.5 years. Our wedding is in October. And I couldn't even sleep yesterday or last night because I can't stop getting enraged thinking about her being with another man regardless of the reason. Yeah, my guess is she has a history of this. And also, she probably is sabotaging the wedding. She probably doesn't want to get married but can't bear to do it. So she, whether she realized it or not, sabotaged the whole thing by cheating with this guy. And that, because she could have kept it quiet. Honestly, but it wasn't like her, in my opinion, guilt. Bullshit. This was all planned. I think she wants this to end. My opinion. I looked at her this morning and felt nothing except intense sadness and disgust. She tried hugging me again. I just left and went for a drive. I took the day off today and I'm regretting that because I'm just at home now with this shit playing through my mind. No, walk away. The universe did you a favor, as screwed up as it is, because guess what? She probably has a history of this because once a cheater, always a cheater. She's using this BS as an excuse just to cheat on you. I mean, what happens the next time some emotional event happens in her life? She's going to go hook up with other dudes? And if this guy takes her back and marries her, she's not going to respect him. How can you respect somebody that you did that to and they take you back? All right? Even if maybe on the outside you are sorry, somewhere deep down in your psyche, your CPU, if you will, knows you can get away with it again. Now he provides an update as to what's going on. He says, I did not read through every single comment yesterday. However, the ones I did read were enough for me to do some thinking last night and realize that I likely won't ever be able to get past this. Could have told you that, dude. It would truly take a tremendous effort for me to forgive her and move past this, and there is every chance in the world that I might just believe I meant it when I forgave her. But the pain from her cheating will remain and then reopen like an old wound at a later date. You're not going to get past this, dude. You're always going to wonder when you go away for business if she's, what's going on with her? Where is she? Is she at where she claims to be? When she's on her phone texting, who's she talking to? Is it another dude? I mean, these are very good reasons he'd have. Does he want to spend the rest of his life like that? That's no way to spend your life. No self-respecting guy should ever do that. But sadly, there's a lot of guys that would put up with that because they felt like they got no other options. I don't want guys to be that way. He says here, I really do believe her when she said it was a terrible mistake and that she wouldn't do it again. Smack. What do you mean you believe that she won't do it again? Bullshit. I still love her immensely, but it wasn't worth being faithful to after 6.5 years together, so she's not worth giving a second chance. You're damn right, bro. It'd be a massive and foolish risk on my part. All she needs to do is be forgiven. I'm the one who would have to work through all the pain of being cheated on, the task of trying to forgive her and make sure that I mean it, and ultimately going through the extreme painful task of learning to trust her again. So I'm done. As much as it hurts to even begin thinking about this, and despite the fact that I still love her. Good, bro. Walk away, okay? Again, this could have happened after you got married, and then you're stuck being married to her, would have to go through the divorce, and depending on where you live and the family courts, she could end up only being married a short period of time, getting a certain amount of alimony, the house, amongst many other things. So, in a way, this is the universe effed up way of helping him dodge a major bullet, in my opinion. I mean, it's sad that it happened. Now, here's some comments from around the world. One guy says, nope, you're way out of the relationship. This wasn't even just a one-time thing. She let the dude beat the brakes off her several times in one night. Giving the loss of a loved one is absolutely no excuse. You deserve so much, consider a huge bullet dodged. That's what I say, exactly. I mean, even if it was one time, that's horrible. But she even admits, in my opinion, by her saying it was multiple times, that was like her pouring salt in the wound. That's what I think. Another guy says, F that, leave her. That's a crock of shit. Grief cheating, please. What will she do when her parents die? Fuck the whole neighborhood? Exactly. Every time there could be something wrong, her go-to thing. But again, this is my theory, think that she wants out of the wedding. And this is her way to sabotage it and then get out of it. That's what I think. Another guy says, Even if you accept her explanation, which could easily be bullshit to cover up a romp with an old flame, you just learn that when she gets really sad, she gets drunk and F's someone multiple times. On top of that, she decided to ease her own guilty conscience by calling you, leaving a cryptic and foreboding message, and then leaving you hanging until she got back. It's your life, man. I wouldn't want to share mine with someone after that. Right. Yeah, I want to mention that also. She texts him, we need to talk. He tries to get a hold of her for like a couple days, and he can't get a hold of her. I mean, all these things say to me she's sabotaging the wedding and wants out of this relationship. I say, fine, let her go have that guy, because then she'll be his problem. Another guy says, I know it's brutal right now, but you honestly have to think of this as a blessing that you found out who she really is now before you were legally bound to each other. You aren't married to her, you don't have kids with her, I'm assuming, since you didn't mention any, and it's going to be far easier for you to go your separate ways. It would be a couple of years down the road when she inevitably does the same thing again with some bullshit reason. Exactly, that's what I think. Exactly. They were married, whole different situation. He says, cancel the wedding immediately and ask for the ring back. When friends and family ask you guys why you split up, tell them to ask her what she did. Move on with your life and find someone with more character. And get a doctor to prescribe some trazodone, I don't know what the hell that is, temporarily. It helps shut your mind down so you can get some rest. Well, I would avoid any medication if necessary, unless he's absolutely going through horrible depression or something like that. And even then, be careful, but that's just me. I don't think guys should get on medication unless they absolutely have to, and they're under severe trauma or something like that, severe incapacitating depression. Best to work it out a different way. But anyhow, just like that guy said, and they all said, move on. End of story. This guy's young. I think he said he was 26 at the time. Well, let me look at this. How the hell old are they? They are 28 years old. He's got his whole life ahead of him. 28 years old, he can start over. It could take him years, but he'll do it. And I would say that he just works on himself, takes it one day at a time, day by day, hour by hour, and you move on. And I don't think there's any guy here watching this that either they've been cheated on or know somebody else has been cheated on, and it rips your heart out. And this dude, 6 years? Shit. But he'll move on. I've been cheated on. I moved past it. It sucked. It felt like your heart was being run over by a Mack truck, but you move on and you learn. You get all the wiser. But this guy stays with her. Giant mistake. All right, guys, that is it for today. Be sure to comment down below. Let me just think about this. Let me know if you ever know anybody that cheated at a funeral or hooked up at a funeral like the Wedding Crashers. I'd like to hear about it. And guys, also, if you come across a really good story that you'd like me to share, whether it's a crazy article from around the world, like the other day I did an article about some crazy chick that chased after this couple with a samurai sword because they were done having three-somethings with her. That's a crazy one. Articles like that, send it my way. Or you find a crazy story online like Reddit, or you got a crazy story from your past that you think is just nuts and you'd like to share it, email it to me. strongsuccessfulmale@gmail.com, and I'll go over it when I get the chance. I'm getting more and more of these as time goes on, so thank you to you guys sending it to me, but I'll get to it eventually. And be sure to like the video, share with your friends, and subscribe. And I'll catch you next time.